Formally begin this session now. So a very, very warm welcome to all of you for the very first SCC virtual meetup for Europe. I'm extremely delighted that all of you are here and members and other guests from 3 countries have joined us today. So from the UK, Germany, and Scotland. And we are hoping that this number will increase phenomenally, the number of countries and the number of members going forward. But so pleased and delighted that you are amongst the first few members of the Sixth Chamber of Commerce as we expand our network across the world. So um, I want to just give a quick introduction about the Sixth Chamber of Commerce, and then we'll start the introduction rounds for the members. So the chamber was formed in 2013. The idea was to promote commerce and also promote the Sikh values for commerce, because we see Sikhism not as a religion, but as a way of life. So to promote the values and the pillars and the principles of honesty, integrity, equality, oneness and service, we started the Sixth Chamber of Commerce in 2013. There are a lot of professionals and industrialists, business owners who are behind this whole idea and concept of the Sixth Chamber of Commerce. They are lawyers, they are motivational speakers, they are trainers, there are people who run NGOs which are doing some phenomenal work. There are senior government officials in India who are all behind the idea of the Sixth Chamber of Commerce. So our focus is primarily on 3 things: commerce, connections, and community. So what we do to promote these 3 things is we organize a lot of knowledge sharing and networking events wherein we invite speakers who are experts from different domains to come in and share their knowledge, and also become the network for our members like yourself. And these events are networking events, not just with the speakers, but amongst the members also. Um, Besides members meeting over tea, coffee, and dinner or lunch, when pre-COVID we used to have physical on-ground events, we also have a formal round of introductions for all our members, just the way we will have today, because that ensures that everybody who's in the house gets to know about who the other persons are, and that enables a opportunity to do business, give work, and collaborate with others, which is what we are primarily focused on. Now, coming to the last point of community. Community, when we use the word community, we mean the whole world, because we believe the whole human race is one single race. So what we do is we support a lot of social work, we support a lot of charities, non-government organizations. We either work with them directly or through our members, help them in raising the resources that they need to keep doing the work that they are doing. So every event has a particular format wherein we initially begin with the speaker, then we have the round of introductions. Within the introductions, we have a featured member who makes a detailed presentation about their business. So all of you today will be giving a brief introduction of about 2 minutes about your business, which will be followed by the featured member of the day. Today, the featured member is Anup Singh Bamra. Anup will have about 7 minutes to make a presentation about his work. And he is into very, very exciting work, and which is unfortunately also amongst the most affected industries right now. So it'll be interesting to hear from Anup his thoughts on how he sees this industry, the aviation industry, going forward. And what I will request all of you is to have a pen and paper ready, or a notepad, your mobile ready, so that if you have any questions for any member, then you ask them once the introductions are complete. Similarly, make a note of names of the members who you would want to connect with. Once the meeting is over, then I would also request that you do a one-on-one connect. We'll share the email IDs and contact details of all of you with each other, so that you can make calls and spend some time getting to know about each other's work. That is exactly when work happens. Now, in the end, we'll have the featured NGO. Dilraj Sokhi Watson works with a couple of charities. So she is going to make a detailed presentation about her work, the work that she has been doing. And then we'll have an open round of discussions. We have some questions for all of you on how we can make this more valuable and fruitful for you and ensure that you get the kind of results that you aspire for in your professional lives. So with that, I want to open the round of introductions, and let's start the introductions with Roop Kaur, and after Roop Kaur, we'll come to Indy, and after Indy, I'll share who will be the next in line. I'll just request everybody except the member making the introduction to mute their audio so that there is no background noise.
Okay, hi guys. My name's Ruth. I'm originally from Southampton, but currently in London, live in London. I'm a qualified psychotherapist, life coach, hypnotherapist, and a practitioner in many other areas. I also work with the NHS, so I work for UCLH. I support food banks, I support many charities. I also work with Tony Robbins. He's a motivational speaker. He's world renowned. So yeah, and also I'm a nutritionist too. So yeah, that's just a bit about me.
And I'll request members to also share that, you know, if there's anything that you are seeking for, which can help you further the work that you're doing, then please request that as well, so that any member, let's say you're looking for a particular connect, or you're looking for funding, or you're looking for X kind of business to come to you, then as part of your introduction, it'll be great if you can share that as well. So Roop, if you want to add anything about your requirement, and then we'll come to Indy.
Okay, so at the moment, I think I'm quite fulfilled, and because of the current climate, COVID we're in, I do have enough work, and I do have a lot of support, and I'm just getting on with it. So at the moment, I don't have any requests, but if I do, I will reach out definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Indy, let's move on to you, and after Indy, we'll have Lakhbir Singh. Lakhbir, please be ready with your introduction.
Hi guys, my name is Indy. I'm from London. I'm actually originally from Delhi, and I moved to London when I was very young. So I currently work for a private equity hedge fund, where I have oversight of mid-market buyouts. So if you see stuff like Deliveroo, Snapchat, all these apps, we kind of own a big stake in those. I have a consulting business, so I consult in financial strategy, and also automation development, so automating bits of your business's just operational side of things. And at the moment I am working on a contract, so my time is very busy at the moment, but if you guys do need advice, or if there's anything I can help from a finance perspective, operations, automation perspective, then feel free to reach out, and I'll help in any way that I can, or if I can't help you, I'll put you in touch with people who can.
Great. Thank you so much, Indy. Lakhbir, we'll move on to your presentation, and after that, it'll be Mohanveer Singh Saran.
So, Sat Sri Akal, Paji, and respected colleagues, it's a great pleasure to connect with you in such turbulent and tough times around the world. And if I may first commence with saying I'm deeply impressed with the values of the organization in terms of their forward-thinking nature in connecting Sikh members and communities from around the world with a view to changing the world for the better. And so at the risk of boring you, I'll give you a bit of background about myself. So I'm actually a third generation member in the UK. I'm Hampshire born and brought up. And as a family, we have interests in real estate, relocations, sports, logistics, and most recently within consultancy. And my specific remit is within the India Business Group, which some of you may be aware is a UK-based trade and investment consultancy working very closely with the UK government, particularly 10 Downing Street and the Department of International Trade on promoting SME and mid-market collaboration between the UK and India, with a particular focus on technology, because our research suggests that technology, particularly fintech, medtech, and edtech, are complementary ways of cementing links between the two countries. And so India Business Group is a family venture. We've got a parliamentarian who's our chairman, Lord Patel of Bradford. And I have the privilege through my work to be in India, specifically Delhi, probably on a 2-monthly basis, pre-COVID-19. And so I look forward to, at the earliest opportunity, interacting with colleagues and the organization's leadership in country on the ground. Baji, to just give you a comment on your opening question, where we are at the moment in the UK is we're in that transition mode where effectively we're working to shift from survival to revival, business revival, and a lot of our work is around contingency planning and scenario planning. And so for me, what I'm really looking for in this particular engagement with like-minded colleagues is to kind of foster awareness and develop connections that can help cement business relations beyond borders. And so it's a great pleasure to be here. And I should add at this stage, I do have a quick call I need to transition on as part of this dialogue, but please do excuse my brevity because I'm very interested to learn more and do more with you.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Lakhbir. Let's move on to the introduction of Mohanveer Singh, and after Mohanveer, Satinder Paul, we'll come to you.
Hello everyone, Sat Sri Akal. Mohanveer Singh here. I'm based between London and Wales currently. I'm a corporate innovation and venturing professional with over 5 years experience. But previous to that, my career started in academia and international relations. So I was working with a UN expert on maritime security off the coast of East Africa, so specifically Somali piracy. Now what I do is a world away. So what I do is look at new products, new opportunities for large corporates, specifically around tech startups and new technology capability, and bringing that into the corporate environment to foster new revenues and opportunities for the corporate. I guess what I'm looking for from the network is very much, you know, as you can imagine, networking, so meeting like-minded individuals, but also looking for opportunities to mentor, collaborate, anywhere I can share my expertise, but also gain from others' expertise. Very open to that. So thank you for bringing us all together.
Thank you so much, Mohanveer. Satinder, let's have your introduction, please.
Hey guys, Sat Sri Akal and Guten Tag from Munich, and thank you very much, Shamir, for making me the part of your this commerce journey in Sikhism, which is quite rarely I haven't seen that. Every time I saw in the Seva and attitude, but the first time I'm seeing the Sikh community talking about the commerce and business, which is very good. To start about me, I am also born brought up of Delhi wala. I belong to Delhi and my family is in Delhi. I moved to Germany in 1997 to start my engineering career. There I worked, did my bachelor's and also master's, and also then I moved to US in MIT for advanced studies. Then I moved again to Germany. I'm basically a chip consultant which works on the semiconductor and the chip designing side. I've worked for the companies like Intel, Broadcom, which are the blue chips in the chip designing. Then I moved to my own consulting, in which I delivered the breakthrough chips which have a long-term revenue of 1 billion now. Then in 2014, my entrepreneurial bug started me to start my own, and I started my own company in Bangalore and Noida, which is scaled up to now 250 people, and we provide services for chip designing and deep learning and the machine learning. We are working very actively with the different governments for the new NLP. This is called natural language processing, which is a real, let's say, the problems we have to solve in the machine learning softwares. Apart from that, Punjabi cannot live without a food. So we have a chain of restaurants in Germany, Switzerland, and Denmark. And we have around 14 restaurants now. So which I'm not an active member, but I just go and see how things and keep the ball rotating. And that's it from my side. And I look forward to work with you guys. thanks to Samir from your group, I got many requests from the people and who wants to cooperate with me, and some lawyers interesting which work in startup also, and some nice contacts. And looking forward, feel free to reach me.
Thank you so much, Satinder. We will have a lot of conversation post the introduction. So, Anup, if you are ready, let's have your detailed presentation about yourself and your line of work, please.
Thanks. I'm not sure how detailed it is, but we'll try and make it stretch to 7 minutes. Okay. Has everyone got that up?
Yep.
Is this? Yep. Brilliant.
Yeah.
So, Shikal, everyone. My name is Anup Singh Bumrah. I'm the CEO of British School of Aviation and the Commercial Director for Falcon Flying Services. I'm based in South London in Bromley, with offices in Luton Airport and Biggin Hill Airport, both known for corporate business aviation, and Luton as well for the scheduled low-cost model as well. So we're going to give a brief intro to where it all started. Falcon is a family business. It's a family business with a long history. 1977, my father Amarjit Singh Bumrah started it. We are a UKCAA approved facility, which means that we maintain aircraft. We cover flight training, maintenance, sales, and leasing for aircraft all up to 5,700 kilograms. That is a fantastic picture of my pups. We're very, very proud of him. He carries the SICK ethos as well. How we got here. So in the photo, you'll see my dad, who is the CEO of Falcon, my brother, who is the managing director, Shonu, and then myself. Since 1977, based here at London Biggin Hill, we've been maintaining aircraft and leasing them across southeast England, previously more towards the north as well, but as the markets declined early 2000s, we concentrated on the southeast all the way down to Exeter, from Luton downwards. Maintaining aircraft is in the blood. My father and my brother are both qualified engineers. My father's also a qualified pilot. I'm a qualified pilot who loved to dabble in engineering. So we've had tremendous fun growing up. Falcon has had a long history steeped in excellence in maintenance of aircraft and training people. We have trained engineers from apprentices all the way up to them reaching Virgin, BA, and other national flag carriers. Part of our other remit within Falcon is that we provide servicing for the corporate business jets, emergency locator transmitters, services, purchasing of larger aircraft as well. Flight training has been occurring for many, many, many decades here at Biggin Hill Airport. We are now the largest approved training organization here in the southeast of England. We train pilots anywhere from your 14-year-old brother or sister or son who's looking to develop themselves in their next career, to someone who's looking to become a commercial airline pilot. Whatever it is, we take them through it. We take them through it with ethics and a good work ethic at that. Where we're going. British School of Aviation was set up by myself, my brother, and our two partners, Matthew and Richard. We bought out the Monarch Airlines Aircraft Engineering Training Academy last year. Monarch has a very well-respected airline that unfortunately fell into administration, and we were delighted to help recover the business. And we've maintained and retained some of the previous members of staff who are all trained by Boeing. What we do at BSA is complementary to Falcon. We train engineers in Boeing aircraft, engineers for drone pilots, and we conduct this both in our facilities, which are Boeing Gold Standard, and also online. So the facility, you got a brief glimpse there. So I mentioned Boeing Gold Standard. What does that mean? That means top of the range, effectively. It's world-class leading. It is dual projectors. It allows students to fully immerse themselves into actually learning a course. You see many courses across very many industries. and people go there and it's mainly tick boxes to gain qualifications. What we do is we engage. We make sure people come to us and they leave knowing full well that they've not only enjoyed the course, but they've absorbed the information and they accredit to BSA and they become a BSA ambassador. Drone training. Drone is a very, very, very dodgy word at the moment. Everyone thinks of drone training and they think, oh, they closed my holiday down. A remote pilot, a UAV, unmanned aerial vehicle. So these are things that we use and will continue to use more and more as emerging tech develops. So BSA is also involved with other universities and other stakeholders in industry to create artificial intelligence revolved around drone and unmanned technologies. Simulation. That's one of our flight simulators. It's called a flat panel simulator, which is used for recurrency and basic engineering training and basic flight. We believe that by immersing people and blending their learning, where they have a combination of online, they have a combination of face-to-face, and a combination of technology involved. So it's not all pen to paper. They truly can maximize their learning ability. So this is British School of Aviation. We're here, we're providing services to the industry, and we're delighted to help anyone in the industry who's looking either to get a qualification, be it within flight training, engineering, or drone or remote pilot training. From personal perspective, what we're looking for are like-minded individuals who are looking to either expand their foothold within aviation or have contacts within aviation where we can supply our services. We are currently working with airlines such as Norwegian and other airlines in both the UK and abroad, where we provide the training required to maintain the aircraft that take us all abroad. Thanks. I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have.
Thank you so much, Anup. That was really a very well put together presentation. And also your timing was immaculate. You didn't go over time at all. So thank you for both. And before we take questions, let's have Dilraj Soki Watson. Dilraj, you are our featured NGO member today. So you also have 5 to 7 minutes to share about the work that you have been doing.
Thank you, Anup. That was a really good presentation. You set the bar very high, and I'm afraid I don't have a very fancy PowerPoint. I'm just going to be speaking and hopefully speaking to time. And thanks, Samir, for inviting me. I'm really honored to be here. Sat Shri Akal and hello to everyone across the pond and everywhere. Just a bit about myself. I'm originally from India, and Samir and I go way back. We were friends when we were in college, and I just, we just got in touch out of the blue, and here I am today. I migrated to the UK around 2005 for higher education and just decided to stay on. So I'm currently living in Scotland. I've been in Scotland since 2009, and I have multiple areas of technical expertise. I started off as a fashion designer and then decided that was not for me, and then I moved on to the sciences. So I have worked in the environmental sector for the last 10 years, and my specialism is around legislation and climate change with particular focus in Scotland. I have also been on the side working with what we call black and minority ethnic communities. Now that's a term perhaps some of you may have come across. It's a much used terminology within the sector. What it necessarily means is folk who are not mainstream, who are not white, are BME. And I've been working over a number of years on a lot of on-the-ground issues around Sikh, Muslim, and BME issues. And these issues are very contextual to the UK, because a number of us are migrants and we come from our motherlands, and we bring those issues and cultural kind of norms with us. So working on the issues on the ground. So I'm just going to quickly kind of tell you what I'm assuming here and going out on a limb that not everybody's familiar with what happens in the NGO sector, because nobody's kind of mentioned any connections. So I'm just going to give you a quick background and do apologize if somebody does know about it, and feel free to ask questions at the end of it. Now, the third sector, as we call it in the UK, is basically the charity sector, which makes up for services which the statutory sector, which is the public sector, is not able to deliver. So we basically pick up what the government is not able to deliver to communities. And there are a range of services across the sector, whether it's social housing, social security, gender issues, environmental issues, you name it. There are more than 100 odd issues, and a number of charities work on these different issues. And the work which I have been doing within the sector has been, as I mentioned, primarily around black minority ethnic communities, particularly women. And the reason why it's particularly women is women have very contextual issues based on economic disengagement and the amount of influence they have in their own lives, within their own families and within the cultures we live in. Unfortunately, even in 2020, we're having to talk about gender equality and the rights of women and the rights of other folk in the room. In this kind of context, I have been working, and we work in the sector a number of services where we provide what we call capacity building support. We offer skills across Scotland, and I work with 2 charities, and I'll come to that in a bit. We work across a range of kind of skills offering support mechanism where we encourage women right from the point where even they don't have the confidence to have a singular conversation, to the point where they're actually applying for jobs and getting those jobs. So this is a whole journey, and it depends on what support a particular service user needs. We also kind of talk about, do apologize, I'm in a shared space, do apologize for the background sound. We also work on particular gendered issues, so violence against women. That's a really very, very kind of critical and real issues in today's day and age. We work around what we call hate crime. Many of you may have come across this post 9/11 that Sikhs in America, we read a lot about this, by association and by the way that they look like they were targeted for crimes which were apparently committed by the community or not. And it's a hate crimes about being targeted and being victimized on the basis of your color or your basis of what you're seen as practicing a faith. We also work around issues where we are looking to influence any government policies which particularly affect people from our ethnicity. So we are talking, it's within a race context, so we're looking at frameworks and policy which would look at equality rights within the third sector, within the wider community, or even within the private sector, so to say, or looking at how are people within the BME community able to progress in the Western society. So there's a number of issues which are picked up within the charities I work with. Myself personally, as I mentioned, I kind of work on environmental legislation, but currently I am the co-CEO of a charity called Amina Muslim Women's Resource Center. It's an organization which works with Muslim and BME women, and BME women effectively kind of works. Every woman of color comes into that definition, and we kind of offer these support services across Scotland. Our main offices are Glasgow, the headquarters in Glasgow. We have a satellite office in Edinburgh, which is where I'm based, and we also have a regional office in Dundee. And on an average, we work with about 4,000 to 5,000 women a year across a range of services, where there's face-to-face support as well as kind of wider support. I'm conscious of time and I don't want to rant along, but I'm happy to kind of share more information and resources. What I would like to kind of highlight for people who may not be aware, and if that's not really your area of interest, if not been keeping in touch with those issues while you've been watching the news, is the third sector has really taken on the burden of COVID impact on communities. And we basically are, I don't know how much you know about how third sector organizations are funded, but we come through mainly through 2 revenue streams. One is grant funding, which is by statutory organizations like Scottish Government or big grant funders like Bid Lottery, or we get what you call corporate money, where you have either trust funds or big corporate CSR kind of endeavors which kind of put money in. And over the years, with Brexit looming, with climate change, a lot of things, the budgets have been kind of being consistently cut down, and suddenly over the last 3 months we've seen an inordinate amount of pressure being put on third sector services, because they are the ones who are actually out there with the community. So for me, this kind of opportunity is not just about making connections with like-minded individuals, but also kind of making people aware that there's a lot many out there who could do a lot more support than what they're being currently offered, and just trying to see how we can maximize what others are doing and kind of channel that through any connections I make. So that would be my kind of reasons for coming in today, and I'm quite looking forward to what this platform has to offer. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dilraj, and kudos to the good work that you're doing. And the third sector or the NGO sector across the world really has taken it upon themselves to ensure that there is as little impact on those who are most affected, who don't have the resources or the funds to even arrange for a day's meal if they don't go out and work. So thank you to you and your entire teams and others like you who are working all around. It's also very heartening to see that almost everybody in today's meeting is doing very impactful and much needed work, which will only grow in the coming months and years, whether it is investing, whether it is making the chips, to Roop being a psychologist, your work. Anup, it'll be interesting to know more from you about how you see the aviation industry in the years ahead. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the floor now for you to ask questions to each other, and then we'll move forward. So anybody has a question, please go ahead and you may ask a question.
I had one for Anup.
Please
Hey,
go right
Anup.
ahead.
I actually wanted to be a pilot when I came out of university, but unfortunately, when the BA were doing their pilot training schemes, they withdrew that at that time. Now, do you guys offer a CAA pilot scheme like for a commercial airline? And if so, is there any upper age limit on there?
There's no upper age limit as long as you can pass the medical and you're not at the retirement age for pilots. So I can safely say you're well within the limits there.
Might hit you up for that.
No, that's fine. That's good. So we train pilots all the way from your recreational pilot license, which is the PPL, and then we train you to become a commercial pilot. So we can take you all the way through. Depending where you live, Biggin Hill may be within arm's length, or it may not be. If it's not, then I can certainly recommend a school with a good reputation, someone that can take you all the way through. There are a few pitfalls, but I'm happy to advise.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hi, I had a question. Sorry, go on.
Yes, go on, please. Go on, Mohanveer.
It was another question for Anu. Just in regards to your expansion into kind of drone training, and you mentioned as well the software capability and machine learning and the computer vision technology that's being used as well for kind of remote inspection, etc. with drones. Is that something you're building kind of as proprietary capability, or is that something you're working with other vendors to bring in-house?
It's a bit of both. It's a bit of both, I must admit. So the market, as you can imagine, is it's relatively new as far as emerging tech into drone and UAV appliances is. Yeah. So what we're doing is we're working with a couple of universities. One university in particular, Cranfield University, which, as you can imagine, you may or may not know, Cranfield is actually at the forefront of innovation and emerging technology, not only within the UK but within Europe as well. Yeah. We're working with a couple of trusts as well. We are looking to see how we can successfully merge the aspects of flying a drone or UAV and using it to make maintenance on aircraft, to make the journey of aircraft and other industries, commercial, oil and gas, and how we can use a drone to carry other third-party technologies with it. So thermal imaging, etc. Yeah, so I note that you're in maritime security and you're looking at new products as well and corporate innovation. So that's something we'd be very, very interested to talk about.
Mm. Have you considered international development use cases of drones? So distribution of goods, movement of assets, etc., asset monitoring.
So well, my family's all from, well, my mum's family's from Kenya, my dad's from Tanzania, and then obviously them back then they're all from Chandigarh. Within Kenya, we have a number of links, and within Ghana, we have a number of links, and within the Indian DGCA, we have a number of links as well. What we're trying to do is make sure we have a solid platform for drone delivery and asset delivery before we actually speak to these guys and say, look, we want to be involved. As you know, Amazon is really quite at the forefront of it. We've already got drone deliveries going to the Isle of Man, and UAV and eVTOL it's happened. It's not even emerging tech, it has happened. So we are working closely with industry to make sure that we are at the forefront of it, and we're working with the correct stakeholders. So, we're open all day long to talk about this.
Okay, thanks.
No problem. Also note, sorry, Samirji, that Lakhbir Singh he also works with DIT on EdTech and technology. So if you could please put me in touch with him, that'd be great.
We'll surely do. Post this meeting, what we'll do is we'll send out a detailed list of all the attendees to every one of you, so that you can reach out to the other members, whoever you wish to connect with. Any other questions anybody has, please?
I had a question for Diraj.
Please.
Hi, Diraj. What kind of operational challenges are you facing before and after COVID in terms of the way you're carrying on from day to day from an IT or a finance perspective?
So are you asking with specific to the charity I work in, or is it like a sectoral kind of?
You can give your opinions on both. I'm quite interested.
Well, with regards to the charity I work with, we are quite dependent on grant funding, and that's trust grant funding. So usually the revenue is for a minimum of 12 months to a maximum of 18 months. So we have been constantly struggling with our long-term sustainability, financial sustainability. There's much conversations in Scotland, particularly. I'm not sure if you've encountered those conversations in England about social enterprise and kind of development of social, a fancy name for SME, small enterprises, but with a social conscience. The challenge within the charity sector is we don't have the expertise to come up with these business plans to deliver financial sustainability on those endeavors. So that's been a big one for the whole sector, almost kind of microscopic within the organization as well. In terms of IT, did you say IT? Was that your
IT,
second?
finance, yeah.
Well, finance, there's also, this is very nuanced and more kind of more related to people who are working in the sector. We call something core funding, and there's something called program funding. So core funding is basically for services which are at the back end of the program kind of delivery. And program delivery is basically you identify a need in the community, or you've identified an issue in the community, and you say, we found an issue, we are offering the solution, government give us money for it, and then we kind of go out and about delivering those solutions. So that's kind of program work, but that program work is only for that particular piece of work, for that particular piece of time. That's supported by a lot of back-end functions, which we call core work, and that is never funded. Funders feel that that's not important enough, and we have this classic case of let's give you money for program delivery, but we don't want to give you money for core, and it's just kind of intensified during COVID as well. So we've been negotiating with grant funders to see if we can get more money to sustain organizations to keep doing those back-end jobs so that this work can be continued. In terms of resources, you do ask IT, but I would kind of put that within resources, because it just doesn't have procurement implications for tech, but also implications of quality of service delivery and the quality of labor force. So if you have the right, if you pay peanuts, you get monkeys kind of thing. So if you don't pay the right amount of money, you don't get the right people doing the job. So we are always cost cutting in terms of who's doing the job and how we're delivering it. Tech has been a major issue because we all kind of use old tech. However, what we call, because everything's work from home, everything's about remote working, suddenly the funders have woken up to the idea let's enhance the digital capacity of our communities across Scotland. The language they're using is called, let's call digital inclusion. Now, I wonder if this would be of relevance to any of professionals who work in other sectors. I was part of a Bank of England discussion forum last week, and what they are, especially with folk who are doing the software and IT stuff, what they are projecting is a big increment in AI and a big increment on digital work across the next short term, not just long term, short term work. And that's also being reflected in the way the tech support is being extended to communities at the ground level. So we've gotten a lot of money to literally send out equipment to households who not only are off the grid, do not have Wi-Fi connections, but also people who do have connections but don't have the resources. So the only good thing I would say that has come out of this COVID crisis is the digital divide has been acknowledged, and that has led to giving additional support to communities who are effectively always cut off from conversations. Let's kind of acknowledge there's an element of privilege here. You know, we are sitting here in a Zoom call. For some, even accessing a laptop or a tablet is a luxury. So that divide has lessened, and communities are getting a lot more access.
Thank you, Dulraj. Thank you, Indy. Anybody else has any question? We can take one last question, or we could move on to the next round.
If nobody has a question, I have a question for Anoop, if that's okay.
Please go
Yep.
ahead.
Anoop, I don't know if you're going to be covering this later on, but it'd be really useful to know your thoughts about what trends do you envision for the aviation industry given the current crisis. So it's really kind of useful to get your kind of thoughts on that.
That's $1 million question, really, isn't it? It's we're in a difficult time. There is no doubt about it. The government has been helpful with the job retention schemes and all the grants going out to businesses. The banks, some of them have been forthcoming, some of them haven't. What you're going to find now is with COVID in particular, we were pushing very hard. The 14-day quarantine that has recently been announced, I mean, countries were doing it long before us. And if there's a lot of petition going on by industry, by airlines specifically, who are saying, we don't want you to do this because you're going to cripple us. I personally feel, I think, contentious as it may be, I think the 14-day quarantine restriction is simply to placate people. It's simply a political gesture. It should have come right at the beginning. The industry is working very hard to get back on its feet, and I think that it could potentially slow down the growth of aviation post-COVID. EasyJet has already resumed many flights from the business sector. NetJet's resumed on the 22nd of June, I believe it was, and they've already picked up a lot of market. A lot of the market that's actually missing. The business sector has managed to cope quite well. If you can imagine, no one really wanted to go into Heathrow, no one wanted to go to Gatwick, no one wanted to go to any airport really. So what people found was they were using corporate aviation a lot more. Where we work with corporate aviation to provide apprenticeship training, basic license training for their engineers right down from the ground up. So that's the way we invest into that part of the industry. The second wave, someone mentioned before, I think it's inevitable personally, but I'm no scientist. I just fly little things. I think it is inevitable. I think the whole world has to brace for that. How industries are going to react to that. What you'll find is many industries have gone from face-to-face to online, as we're doing right now. As Samirji said before, that they used to hold face-to-face meetings, face-to-face conferences, and face-to-face meet and greets. Now we are meeting, and I think this is one benefit of COVID. We are now speaking to people from across the world, face-to-face, sharing ideas, sharing ideals. And the aviation industry, whilst it can be slightly lethargic in its approach to some things, as it's quite difficult to mobilize a whole airline and change it, it does work very well like that. So the Civil Aviation Authority has worked very well to implement online learning techniques. Now, I know that sounds a little strange that they're simply doing it now, but you have to remember aviation is a very specialized, and I'm not insulting any other industry at all. It's very specialized in the regard that you need to be around aircraft. Yeah. So it's taken a while for them to almost adjust their line of thinking. So what we found is within our company is to implement blended learning. So you have a combination of face-to-face where possible, but you implement online learning techniques, and it will allow you to maintain the provision of personnel, and maintain the quality is the million-dollar question there. How do you go from training someone in front of you who used to be able to have 100% engagement and immersion into your lecture to now maintaining that over what is effectively a number of screens shared across an internet connection? Yeah, so we've been working hard with stakeholders. You have teach-to-teacher courses, and you use technology, polls and quizzes, and that's one example of how the aviation industry is going to make sure it maintains its presence and effectively fights COVID as far as learning is concerned. As far as the industry is concerned in terms of flight itself, it's recovering. It's recovering. They've opened the borders again. They have got strict procedures in place. I still think we're a little lax, and there should be screening done at the very point of entering an airport. I know from our business perspectives, if you don't have thermometer temperature checks, you don't come in. The government should be mandating that, as many other countries. But I think it is on the. I think Grant Shapps is doing a good job. He's got a difficult task ahead of him. I know him well, but they're working hard to make sure that the aviation industry specifically does not suffer too much.
Anup, to complement your point, actually, my company recently got multiple contracts from Airbus and Bombardier for the infotainment for the aircraft to make
Brilliant.
use of more AI-based technologies, and they are working very hard on the, let's say, aircraft for 2030 now. I mean, that's what they're planning. So there is a lot of funds going on in the end. A lot of VCs are investing money on that.
No, they are. Sorry, please carry on.
But I'm done already. Yeah.
No, Airbus. We had a meeting with Airbus, or a call with Airbus just before COVID kicked in about the industry and how they're moving. We are a registered training. We're an approved training organisation which is registered with the UK Civil Aviation Authority and EASA, which is the European Aviation Safety Agency. Airbus is working hard to make sure the standards are kept up, and at the same time you move forward. We know that Rolls-Royce, we were speaking to them last year, they've got their future programs. They're working hard to make sure that they can implement all this. Augmented reality in aviation is only just coming in, but it will change the way we look at training an individual. All of a sudden, you don't have to take someone to an aircraft for them to realize and see what's inside the engine. You can do that all from the classroom. And then when you take them over to the aircraft, it makes that much more sense. It's not, the businessman in me says you need very high pass rates. If you've got extremely high pass rates, then you're either doing something wrong or something very, very right.
The main issue is to get the aircraft standards for security map and software. This is a bit still tricky at the moment.
It is. I know. We're working with Bombardier as well. In fact, my brother was working with Bombardier earlier on today. We're working with them on the apprenticeships. Now, if we can successfully manage to get the apprenticeship program with them going, what we're looking at is gearing people up. Now, if you cast your minds back, I mentioned that we purchased the facilities from Monarch Aircraft Engineering Training. Monarch had one of the most well-renowned apprentice programs in the country, if not the world. It was a focus from hand skills all the way up. What you're finding is people, they come out of university with an aeronautical engineering degree, they're applying and they're speaking to hangar managers and they're saying, I can't use you. You don't know how to use a tool. You can't use a spanner. You can't rivet. They need people right from the ground up. So our director of training, Mr. Ram Naidu, he is one of the best in the country when it comes to apprenticeships. And the program we've put together, which will hopefully start in September, October time, pending how COVID recovers, of course. We'll focus on reintroducing hand skills to people right from the ground up and making sure that when people leave our doors, they are marketable from a hand skill perspective and from an intellectual perspective.
Yes. So basically, if I concise it, the air travel should be more smart rather than more like a bus-oriented services.
Sorry, say that again. My line cut off there.
What I'm saying is the underlying message is the air travel should be for more smart rather than the bus stop style way.
Yes, yeah, 100%. It's got to be that much more smarter. And I tell you, the implementation of machine learning into this, it will change the way everyone views aviation. It really will. But yeah, I'll be delighted to talk.
Yeah, basically, I'm a machine learning scientist. I'm saying machine learning is from ages, but it's coming into mainstream now because there are some real problems that needs to be solved rather than stupid software.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Correct. Good. Let's talk offline, not disturb the time.
Yes, that'd be great.
Maybe it can take ages for a different talk.
No problem.
ठीक है. Next, आगे चलिए जी.
So, we are almost at the close now. Can I take your permission to for a 5-7 minute extension for this? Otherwise, we'll just quickly close. What I wanted to get was 1 minute from each one of you on how you are managing the COVID crisis within your organization and something that others could learn from. So every single one of you, if you could just in a minute give some tips which could be helpful for others and could be implemented. So that'll be appreciable.
Yeah, I'm happy to go first. I think it's partly wrong of me to say this, but I don't want to teach anyone to suck eggs. Everyone here is a professional. Everyone here has got oodles of experience. Yeah, so I think we're all going to mirror something of the same sort of thought. From our experience, it's all about adapting. Yeah, it's you've got to reinvent. You have to reinvent yourself. No one in the world would have foreseen COVID coming along. We are all suddenly on the same playing field. Yeah, every industry, every airline. Yeah, there's no discrimination here. We are all working to the same playbook. Yeah, so unless we learn to adapt, unless we learn to change, and unless we use the time wisely and invest in ourselves and our staff, and that doesn't mean money. Yeah, that just means a different thought profile, a different way of doing things. Yeah, we're not going to come out of this alive. Yeah, and it's good. It's good, really good to hear all the excellent work everyone's doing.
Indy, could you also share?
Yeah, I think one of the ways that we've changed our approach at work, we try to encourage a little bit more compassion, and compassion in the way they speak to each other, compassion in the way we communicate things. Sometimes you can say things in an email, for example, which could be taken across very harshly, but I'm sure that you don't mean to come across that way. I'm quite lucky because the area that I live in is quite open space, so I can go for a walk, I can get out of the house, but not everyone is that lucky. I know quite a few friends who are living in the city, in the flat, and they can't get out because of curfew. Well, a few months ago they couldn't get out because of the curfews and lockdown, and unfortunately they were stuck in. So by practicing, it's the principle thinking, by having a little bit there for your colleague, you can try and put yourself in their shoes, and if there's a delay in some things, and some people used to get really wound up about it, and we try to say, look, no, it's okay, don't worry, just get back to us when you can. So it's just passing it on to the next person and hope it comes back to you.
Roopkor, you are a psychologist. I'm sure you would
Yes.
agree with that. And what else would you add to that?
So I'd like to just add to that I think it's a time when people need to plan better. Obviously, you need to assess the risk before you actually decide to take any journeys or go anywhere, travel. I think it's down to you as an individual to take the precautions and whether they're worthwhile taking and leaving the house. I think one of the main things is you've got to be really mindful, and you need to practice mindfulness, and you need to protect your mental health at these kind of times. One of the things I've been working towards with my clients is we've gone virtual for all our sessions in the voluntary sector, as well as in my practice. We have been doing everything virtually, and I've recommended meditation and lots of other techniques to actually help with the mental health, because it's not easy staying in isolation for 14 days in quarantine isolation, and to actually deal with the current climate with children and families cramped up in a home. It's really not easy. So I think my message is to actually look after your mental health, and if anybody needs any support, any guidance, any help with anything, then feel free to reach out. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Roop. Monveer, your quick 1 or 2 tips.
Yeah, I guess just building on the points already made, I think we've taken quite a practical approach. So whether that's parents blocking out the first hour of the day so that they can be with their kids for homeschooling, or whether it's having a hard stop on meetings after 6 o'clock to ensure that people have a clear separation between work life and home life, given that we've seen this convergence of the two. I think definitely echoing in this point as well, just around, and Roop's point around mindfulness and mental health. So, we're lucky to have, I have a separate room where I can work here and create my office. Whereas if I was stuck in London, I would have been, working off my, sofa in the living room. So I guess just being conscious of different situations that colleagues have, and flexing your style based on that.
Thank you, Mohanveer. Satinder?
Actually, this COVID gives a lot of new lessons. Me and my team were used to work from home from a long time. Even I'm doing it from, let's say, 10 years. What I learned is basically during this COVID times, me and my 250 engineers educate the poor sick kids in the Maharashtra and the Bangalore area, and even the Delhi poor sick kids. What we did was we took initiative to donate our 1 hour from each, let's say, week, and educate our sick kids who were not able to afford the tuition and other schools. We are happy that we built up a momentum and we gave them good support, and kids are doing fine. That's what I learned from COVID, and would like to continue now for the whatever we have, how much we can.
Fantastic. Dilraj, last quick, any tip from you that you've been using in your organization?
I certainly am not the best person to give tips on home life work balance, because I'm absolutely not following it. But what we are a women's organization, and what we have done is we've done what you call phased working. So women have, I'm sorry I keep bringing the gender kind of context here again, but they do have additional responsibility with childcare, with kids studying from home, and there's additional burdens with if their husbands are working at home as well. So we kind of support them to work weekends or work evenings or work really early mornings, whatever works for their schedule. So that's really worked well for us. The other thing we've done is we've been looking for resources on mental health support and well-being. And Roop, I'm just going to be very cheeky and say, I think I'm connected with you on LinkedIn, and I think you blog and you do these amazing blogs. And I would be interested in kind of touching base with you, if that's okay, independently, to see if we can, collaborate on something. But yeah, we are supporting our staff in accessing these mental well-being resources. Much of it is free, much of it is paid for, but yeah, that's what we're doing. And we're having these virtual coffee mornings. I don't know if any of you do that, tea or virtual tea or coffee. We basically meet for 15 minutes and we talk rubbish. But yeah, that's helpful.
So Dilraj, that's brilliant if you want to touch base. I do some pro bono work with communities, with gurdwaras, with mosques, and Hindu temples, with ladies and men. So feel free to get in touch with me. I work with kids too, so yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, and I really look forward to connecting with you. Thank you for that.
Fantastic. Thank you,
Sure, no problem.
everyone. I just want to now wrap up this session, and we are already 5 minutes above time, and we like to keep everything as per schedule. So I'm going to quickly share a few things which I had actually planned 5 to 7 minutes for. I'm going to try and share them in 2 minutes. So first and foremost is that, the first time you do something, it's very, very special. And this was the very first virtual meetup that we did, and it turned out to be really good. So thank you all of you for being here. Thank you all of you for becoming members of the 6th Chamber of Commerce. We are extremely delighted to have such a intellectual and professional group as our new members from Europe. We've taken this COVID also opportunity to expand in a bigger manner globally. We had members from around the world, but we are now expanding more. So one request to all of you will be that if you want to see the kind of results, or if you want to deliver the kind of results that you aspire to for others, one thing that is required from your end is regularity. We will need you to show up regularly for at least 80% of the meetings. You cannot show up just once and then again attend another meeting after 2 months or 3 months. It will not bring you the kind of results. Or if you're just wanting to give to somebody, that also will not happen. So minimum 80% attendance, 70 to 80% attendance in the meetings ahead is what has to be there from your end for you to receive the kind of benefits that other members in India have been receiving. Just to give one small example, because of 2 members attending our meetings regularly, they ended up collaborating on a solar project. One was installing solar panels in their schools. They have about 130 schools in 5 states in India, and they were installing solar panels. They had already given out the advances to a particular company. Then they met this new member who had joined, who was a solar consultant. The member immediately saw that there was an opportunity for them to make a saving, and within 10 days time rolled out a new tender. Tender was allotted and given out, and after foregoing the advances, they still ended up saving $500,000. So this is just one example of how beneficial the network has been. There are hundreds of other examples where members are working with each other. The size and scale may be different, the quantity and volume might be different, but there is a lot of business happening. Startups have gotten funded because of the network, and you will see phenomenal results. So you will have to invest time, and you will see the results in the next 2 years, results which I am assuring you will leave you surprised. Only thing that we need to do is we need to stick with each other, especially during this time, and ensure that we collaborate and we support each other in growing. So the other thing is over email or WhatsApp, please send me ideas on what more we can do to make, to bring the kind of results that you want. Or if you want a specific result, share those ideas as well, and we'll work towards helping you achieve those results. We also need your help in expanding the member base. So next meeting which we have, we'll request you all to invite one friend each, just one friend to invite and attend the meeting. And let's expand, because it is through this network that Indies Connect could help Anoop or Satinder or Dilraj, and Dilraj's friend could help Anoop, Indy, or Roop. And that's how the network grows, and that's how everybody benefits. Lastly, just an idea from you guys on what is a convenient time, because everybody has different working hours. Here in India, it's different working hours. Our Australian members prefer a different time. So is this particular time that we had this virtual meetup today, is this convenient? Another proposal is to do it on Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. Then Raj is laughing at the prospect of doing something on Saturday morning. So, just give us suggestions on what is the most convenient time, which you can block for the next 6 months, let's say, and ensure that you're going to be there at least 80% of the times. So if you want to quickly do that now, please do that now, or you can also share that later on WhatsApp.
For me, on a third, sorry.
Yeah, Roop, please,
go ahead.
Karen, please.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah. So for me, Thursday evening at 7 works because the weekend I have full practice days and then I work in the NHS full time during the week. So yeah, Thursday evening at 7 is great for me.
Anu?
Weekends I tend to block off. I travel a lot between my sites, so I spend some time away from home. So I tend to keep the week. I've got a 18-month-old daughter, so I make sure that we have good quality family time on the weekends, I'm afraid. Evenings, yeah, they're fine. Weekdays, and it varies. We do a lot of traveling. We have meetings. We have exec meetings, board meetings, meetings with other airlines abroad. So I'm going to be honest, I will try my very best to attend. I cannot guarantee 80%, but I will try my very best.
Dilraj, you were about to say something?
I was smiling weekends because I work already, so it wouldn't make a difference. I'm okay with evenings, Samir, but just Thursdays are not ideal for me because we normally tend to have board meetings on Thursday evenings. So what might be useful is perhaps set out a doodle poll for some dedicated dates and then see for the next 6 months and then see what are the most popular one, because you'll probably not get everyone agreeing to a date and a time. But if you get the maximum, then that's going to give you, an idea.
What kind of frequency are you looking at, Samirji?
At least once in 15 days. So every alternate week to begin with, and then we will make it to every week if all the members are available or a good strength is available.
Every week might be a challenge, and also I'm thinking long-term, engagement. If you're wanting folk, you don't want to have meeting fatigues. So yeah, as in fortnightly right now while we're working from home and there's less traveling is pretty doable, but once things go back to a bit normal, you might want to think twice a quarter or three, more like once a month kind of thing. That still is kind of manageable, but I think every fortnight might be a challenge in the long run.
Yeah, I'd echo that point as well, particularly.
Yeah, every week is.
Okay, so we'll stick to fortnightly meetings for now, and the other alternate is weekdays early in the morning. Would that work? Say 7 a.m. Your time.
I'm a lazy man. I'm a lazy bird. I can't even think of it. I'm a night owl basically. I admit that for me night is okay, but morning 7 a.m. That means that 6 a.m. my time.
Samira, I travel a lot, so I actually leave home by around 7 when I would start. So probably I would prefer evenings, and I'll probably not prefer Thursdays because that's the day I generally travel a lot.
Fair enough. So we'll work on this and we'll create a poll and we'll send it out to all of you, and we'll look forward to your inputs on that, and then accordingly we'll decide. For now, we'll do the meeting next week. Date and time we'll decide within the next few days after the poll, and I think that covers everything that we were supposed to talk about. Once again, thank you so much, all of you, for being part of the Sikh Chamber of Commerce, being a participant in this meeting, and looking forward to more interactions and helping all of you get connected and benefit through this association. So thank you once again, and a big applause to all of you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Nice to meet you.
Everyone have a nice
Thank
evening.
you. Nice to meet you too.
Thank you. Have a great weekend
you.
ahead.
Take care.
Yeah,
Take care. Bye-bye.